Make way for Mr. Speaker.
I invite the the Minister of Labour to lead the House in prayer or reflection.
Thank you, Speaker. This poem is called Heavy by Mary Oliver. That time I thought I could not go any closer to grief without dying. I went closer, and I did not die. Surely God had a hand in this, as well as friends. Still, I was bent, and my laughter, as the poet said, was nowhere to be found. Then said my friend Daniel, brave even among lions, it's not the weight you carry, but how you carry it. Books, bricks, grief. It's all in the way you embrace it, balance it, carry it when you cannot and would not put it down. So I went practicing. Have you noticed? Have you heard the laughter that comes now and again from my startled mouth? How I linger to admire all the things of this world that are kind and maybe also troubled. Roses in the wind, the sea geese on the steep waves, a love to which there is no reply.
Introduction by members. Minister of Forests.
Thanks very much, Mr. Speaker. My former boss is in the House, the former MLA from Stikeen, the pride of Hazelton, former Minister of Forest, Lands, Natural Resource Operations and Rural Development. Remember the day Doug Donaldson was sworn in by Premier Horgan into Cabinet. He was literally within minutes of being sworn in on his phone getting updates on wildfires back in 2017. He served this province through a number of tough years in forestry during wildfires and has not stopped working. I know that he serves on the board of the Northern Development Initiative Trust, is doing some work with the University of Victoria, the Polis research group there. I met with him yesterday. I think so highly of him. He's been a mentor to me, and I just hope the House will join me in making Doug feel very welcome here today.
Leader of the Official Opposition.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I also just want to say hi to Mr. Donaldson as well. Doug Donaldson was a critic of my ministry for a number of years. I was a critic of his ministry for a number of years. And I just want to say, you know, they do say when you leave politics, you look 10 years younger. And I hope the recovery's going well. You look good. Welcome to the House.
Minister of Health.
Thank you so much, Honourable Speaker. It is my pleasure to introduce members from the BC College of Family Physicians, including President Dr. Catherine Bell and Vice President Dr. Jennifer Lush. The BC College of Family Physicians is the heart of family medicine here in British Columbia, supporting family physicians and providing equitable, culturally safe, longitudinal care for all British Columbians. The college provides support and advocacy to more than 6,800 members across the province. We're so thankful for the work that they do, the work that all family physicians do. Honourable Speaker, in delivering health care across our province, would the House please join me in making them feel most welcome?
Member for Peace River South.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Before I start the introduction, I'm going to ask for leniency from those whose names I've worked through my head, and I'm going to apologize in advance here, but I'll give it my best. I'd like to welcome to the House, they're not in the gallery that I can see, but I want to welcome to the precinct representatives from the Canadian Hydrogen Association, a group at the forefront of Canada's clean energy transition, advancing innovation and sustainability across the country. Mr. Nicholas Pocard, Mrs. Leah Mikalopoulos, Mr. Colin Armstrong, Ms. Catherine Bacara, Mr. Dan Brock, and this one I practiced, so I again apologize in advance, Mr. Pranav Chundrasekar. Sorry again. Please join me in extending a warm welcome to an outstanding delegation that we met with today.
Minister of Emergency Management.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. I'd like to welcome to these chambers a very special and important guest who comes twice a year to visit these chambers and indeed visit all of British Columbia. You may be wondering, but I am actually introducing the emergency alert test, which is going to be today at 1:55 p.m. I want to remind members and people across the province that you're going to be receiving an alert on your mobile device, radio and TV at 1:55 today. In order to receive that alert, you need to make sure that your settings on your cell phone are not on Do Not Disturb or airplane mode, and that you're up to date, connected to an LTE or 5G network. We test it to make sure that we can get information to people in case of emergency. One of the ways we keep people in BC safe. Please welcome the BC Emergency Alert.
Member for Kootenay Rockies.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have the honour today to introduce someone very special to me, my wife Heather, who's up here in the gallery today. This week marks our 23rd wedding anniversary, and so I'm super happy to have her here. You guys, the truth is, without her love and her strength, I wouldn't be standing here in this house today. So she's an important part of my life, and let's make her feel welcome.
Minister of State for Local Governments.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. I have 3 very short introductions to make today. First, I would like to welcome from the Regional District of Central Okanagan, Loyal Woodridge and Sally Ginter. I had 2 meetings with them today with Mr. Callon, and not only is Loyal a wonderful representative, but also a really dear friend of mine. So thank you so much for being with us in the House today, and could the House please make them feel very welcome. And I'd also like to welcome, and I'm not sure if they're watching question period, but I know they're on the precinct, Mayor of Kelowna, Tom Dias, with his team, Doug Gilchrist, Derek Edstrom, and Ariel Bazet. Can the House please make them feel very welcome? I know they have several meetings with ministers today, and thank you for all their work that they do in Kelowna. And lastly, it is very rare that I have a constituent in the House, and so I was so grateful when I got to see Dr. Johnny Chang, who is here today from the beautiful Creston Valley, and he is here with the College of Family Physicians. So please welcome Dr. Johnny Chang and the Family Physicians. Thank you.
Member for Columbia River Revelstoke.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I have a very special friend and guest in the gallery today, Mr. Don McCormick, who's up in the top row. Don's past president of the Kimberley Rotary Club, past president of the Kimberley Chamber of Commerce, founding director of Tourism Kimberley, past chair of Community Futures East Kootenay, Columbia Basin Trust Director, and he's currently serving his 3rd term as the Mayor of Kimberley. Don's transformed our town from changing from a quiet mining town that was going through a transition into a world-class resort municipality. I just want to welcome my friend to the gallery here today. Would you help me welcome him?
Minister of Finance.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today, I rise with great pride to introduce an extraordinary group of students from my riding that are visiting us from École Saint-Sacrement. This school is not only a 75-year-old Francophone pillar of its community, it's also the birthplace of a remarkable global initiative called Young Citizens of the World. Last year, I had the honor of being interviewed by these students along with our Minister of Transportation, where we were profoundly impressed by their curiosity, their insight, and their leadership. What began as a classroom project evolved into a global movement connecting over 1 million young people in 37 countries. They represent the very best of British Columbia, and I'm so proud of them. Honourable Speaker, I ask that all members of this House join me in welcoming the outstanding delegation from École Saint-Sacrement, Principal Mike Height, Grade 5 teacher Marc-André Tremblay, Grade 4 teacher Lucas Fitz, and their incredible students, and of course the dedicated parent chaperones. Bienvenue à l'Assemblée législative. Thank you for being here.
Member for Kelowna Mission.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to echo the remarks across the way and welcome Mayor Tom Dias from the City of Kelowna, along with Doug Gilchrist, Derek Edstrom, Excel Bazette, Kirby March, and Michelle Cam. The fine folks from the City of Kelowna are great advocates for a fast-growing community. I know they've built great relationships on both sides of the House, and to the ministers opposite, I would say, please give them what they want, and then I won't ask you so many tough questions.
Minister of Social Development and Poverty Reduction.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Joining us for, I believe, the first time to witness question period is the communications team for social development and poverty reduction. We have 5 members: Ariana Sahota, Teresa Ticha, Hawa Bella Kasim, Mike Allison, and a woman who's supported me both in mental health and addictions ministry and SDPR, Igel Kalai Lay. Will the members please make them all very welcome?
Member for Kootenay Rockies.
Thank you again, Mr. Speaker. Actually, when I looked up in the gallery, I actually noticed somebody else from my riding. Mr. Wayne Stetsky is a city councillor in Cranbrook. So I just wanted to say welcome.
Member for Victoria Swan Lake.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. I'd like to recognize students behind me in the gallery today. They're from Reynolds Secondary's Flexible Studies program, along with their dedicated teacher, Brad Cunningham. This program provides students from grades 9 to 10 with opportunities to explore ideas of their own choosing in different learning environments. They are now participating in their own model parliament, supported by our own legislative interns, BC legislative intern students who are also in the gallery today. In a few weeks, these students will be sitting in this very chamber to debate their own bills and legislation. I wish them all the luck and would like to recognize their hard work and their curiosity about the democratic process and institutions. Please join me in making these people feel very welcome.
Member for Nanaimo Lansville.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to commend Nanaimo resident Tom Mathen for his grassroots initiative, the Nanaimo Infusion, which took place on April 26. Sparked by a viral TikTok campaign, we invited a number of Americans to our city, resulting in hundreds of trips that were booked. And for some of the people who showed up, they came for the Nanaimo bar and then asked where the menu was. But they didn't get that. But this influx provided a great boost to our local economy, fostered cross-border goodwill, and it's a testament to how an individual's creativity can positively impact our community. And today I'm actually wearing my Tampa Loves Nanaimo bracelet. So thank you, Todd, for bringing all of these Americans to Nanaimo.
Member for Abbotsford South.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I apologize. I stand up right now on behalf of my leader, who I believe is doing a scrum, something about a missing cat. I'm not so sure on that. But I do stand up. He did want to introduce, I know that we all heard about, it was his anniversary and his beloved wife's birthday, but there is another very important birthday within the Rustad house, and that is, it is his beloved parrot Biarde's 32nd birthday, which makes the parrot a teenager, basically. And so would the House please give a warm welcome for Biarde.
Madam Clerk.
Introduction of bills. Statements by members.
Member for Esquimalt Colwood.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today marks what would have been the 40th birthday of a beautiful soul who was taken far too soon. Kim Novak was a passionate leader, a fierce advocate for workers, a proud union sister, a proud New Democrat, a loving wife, and a devoted mother of 2 boys. Many of us on this side of the House were blessed with the chance to work with her in one capacity or another. As my friend the Minister of Labour has noted, Kim was a joyful warrior. Her tireless advocacy for respect, safety, and dignity for frontline workers during the pandemic was nothing but extraordinary. Kim gave her all, 100%, to the people she served through her union. Her journey as a Labour activist began as a summer student, as a working clerk at Safeway. After graduating from the University of British Columbia, she gave her career to UFCW 1518. She served in various roles. But in 2019, Kim actually made history as the youngest and first female president in UFCW 1518. She was a truly authentic leader. She was one of a kind. She had nothing but empathy that made people feel they were all that mattered when she spoke to them. Her ability to connect with people through social media to relay the importance of being respectful to grocery store workers and safety of poultry workers was unparalleled. Even after her passing, Kim continued to be recognized. She was actually recognized and awarded the King Charles III Medal by the former Minister of Labour in her honor for her service and her union within her community. Kim's smile was actually quite infectious for anyone who knew her. She never stopped talking about how we can make lives better for her members and for all British Columbians. Today you'll notice many of us are wearing blue to remember Kim. This was her signature color and is the proud color of UFCW 1518, which she wore with honor whenever you saw her. So happy birthday. Happy 40th birthday, sister. Solidarity forever until we meet again. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Member for Langley Walnut Grove.
This coming Sunday, May 11th, is Mother's Day, a day of celebration for most, a day of sadness for some, a day of trauma for others. Not all women want to be mothers, while some women yearn for an opportunity to be a mother that never happened. Some of us have the best mothers in the world, while some of us have the worst mothers in the world. Some of us have lost our mothers, and others of us have lost a child. Some of us are de facto mothers, and some of us have the immense pleasure of being stepmothers. But regardless of the type of mother you are, if you are a mother of any kind, we honor you in this chamber today. But one type of mother I want to highlight is the single mother. If you know one, you know what I'm about to say is true. Single moms are fierce, they are driven to survive, they are resourceful, and they are fighters. To the single mom who comes home after back-to-back jobs to catch the last 15 minutes of their kids' game, to help with science projects, throw in 2 loads of laundry, then meal prep all lunch and dinners the next day, we stand with you. To the single mom who holds 3 jobs while going back to school, who does their own homework at midnight, gets on ladders and mows lawns in the dark, we stand with you. To the single moms who have watched their child cry on your birthday because they were sad they had no present to give you, we stand with you. On this side of the house, we celebrate new moms who show up for work and still perform their job. But on this side of the house, we don't question any mother's ability. We do not question their ability to manage multiple jobs. We do not question a woman's integrity to follow through on promises made to her community. And on this side of the house, we fought for tax breaks to support single mothers. I encourage everyone in this house to do the same thing, because words in this chamber have not always reflected that sentiment. So as we go into this coming weekend, may we reflect on all types of moms that exist, may we honor them, and may we support them.
Member for Burnaby East.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm delighted to stand to recognize and celebrate Child Care Provider Appreciation Day in BC. I want to say a huge thank you to all of BC's childcare professionals and workforce. Early childhood educators are the heart of the childcare sector. They are dedicated professionals that help nurture and teach the youngest members of communities throughout BC at some of the most important times in their lives. We know that helping children learn through play, caring for their well-being, and supporting their development of social and emotional skills will have long-term positive outcomes throughout their lives. More broadly, ECEs and the teams that run childcare sites are critical to making our communities thrive as a whole. By doing this important job every day, they play a vital role in giving working parents and caregivers, especially women, single parents who we honor too on this side of the house, I might mention, who take on so much care and work within families, the opportunity to work or go to school, knowing their children are cared for and safe. The work they do is absolutely critical, and the Child Care BC plan cannot succeed without them. That's why we've supported them by implementing an ECE wage enhancement of up to $6 an hour, bringing the median wage up to $29 an hour. Developing and testing a wage grid for ECEs, which is now being tested at more than 70 centres throughout BC. And supporting more student spaces at public post-secondary ECE programs. We are focused on growing and retaining the number of qualified childcare providers in BC, and we know there is still more good work to do. And we are continuing this work. I cannot thank all childcare providers and early childhood educators throughout BC enough for their hard work, dedication, and their compassion. I invite all British Columbians to join me on Friday during Child Care Provider Appreciation Day and all this Child Care Appreciation Month to celebrate the integral role childcare professionals play in the lives of children and the immense value of childcare in helping us build a core service that families can rely on for a stronger economy and a brighter future for everyone in BC.
Member for Surrey Serpentine River.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to talk about an incredible destination in my riding, founded by the late, longtime Surrey residents Chick and Marilyn Stewart. The Northview Golf and Country Club stands as a premier golf destination. It was built in collaboration with golf legend Arnold Palmer. It consists of 2 distinct signature design courses, the Ridge and the Canal. The ridge is characterized by tree-lined fairways, elevation changes, a lot of them, and scenic lakes, and it gained prominence by hosting first the PGA Tour's Greater Vancouver Open and later the Air Canada Championship. A highlight in the Canadian golf history occurred in 1999 when Canadian Mike Weir secured his first PGA victory, becoming the first Canadian to win a PGA event on home soil in more than 45 years. The other course, the Canal, offers up Palmer's risk-reward design philosophy with expansive fairways and abundant water features. And who among the best of golfers hasn't enjoyed the occasional splash? It's a lost ball paradise. Both Northview courses are open to the public, reflecting Chick and Marilyn Stewart's commitment to providing a first-class, exceptional golf experience without any membership requirements. With its blend of world-class golf, rich history, and outstanding amenities and culinary options, Northview Golf and Country Club remains a cherished destination for golfers and visitors alike, and I invite all of those in the House to visit this very special place in my riding of Surrey, Serpentine River. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Member for Nanaimo Lansdale.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to share a story not of far-off innovation, but of a bold, clean energy future being built right here in British Columbia. H-Tech, the Hydrogen Technology and Energy Corporation, is a BC-based company that's not just talking about change, they are building it. In the Lower Mainland, they've built Canada's first network of retail hydrogen fueling stations, connecting communities from Vancouver to Burnaby to North Vancouver. Currently, they're working towards the establishment of a hydrogen liquefaction facility that will provide hundreds of jobs. In Nanaimo, H-Tech is advancing a clean hydrogen production facility that will help power everything from heavy-duty commercial trucking to transit fleets right here on Vancouver Island. Across the globe, Germany runs hydrogen trains, Japan is building hydrogen cities, California is rolling out hydrogen-powered transport trucks. The global hydrogen market is projected to hit $500 billion by 2050, and BC has what it takes: talent, technology, and tenacity to lead. Hydrogen is more than just energy, it's a jobs plan, it's a rural development plan, and it's a made in BC opportunity. Just imagine what this means for rural and urban communities across British Columbia. Welders and pipe fitters building new infrastructure, technicians maintaining clean fleets, engineers and tradespeople powering a zero-emission economy. Mr. Speaker, hydrogen is a symbol of what's possible when we dare to lead, especially as we develop our connections with Asia Pacific, such as through the Port of Prince Rupert. Thanks to companies like H-Tech, that path runs through Nanaimo, the Lower Mainland, and every community ready to believe in what's next. So let's seize this moment, Mr. Speaker, and fuel a future made in BC by supporting innovation, supporting entrepreneurs, and leading in a way that will keep British Columbia as the best place on earth. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Member for Kelowna Centre.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Today I rise to draw your attention to an exceptional organization in Kelowna that plays a crucial role in preserving and sharing the rich history of our community, the Okanagan Historical Society. It was founded in 1925, 100 years ago. The Kelowna branch was founded in 1948 and has been a pillar of our community for decades. With a mission to keep the people and natural history of the Okanagan alive, the Society is powered by dedicated volunteers who are passionate about preserving and celebrating our local heritage. Some of the remarkable work done by KHS includes weekly stories in the Daily Courier, with over 1,000 articles highlighting the vibrant history of our area, rewriting and publishing the 3rd edition of the Kelowna Street Names book, which tells the stories of the individuals behind the names of our streets. This book's available for purchase, by the way, through the Kelowna branch. Restoration and signage work at the Kelowna Memorial Cemetery, where volunteers have been recording historical information and restoring neglected graves, allowing visitors to learn about our early pioneers in our area. Social events like the summer picnic and the fall social offer a chance for members to gather and share stories about the founding days of Kelowna. A yearly calendar features old photographs of Kelowna, which not only helps raise funds for the Society, but also preserves visual memories of our community. And finally, the Father Pandozzi Mission Site also benefits from the Society's work, including a yearly cleanup to maintain this important historical site. The Kelowna Historical Society's efforts help us connect with our roots and ensure that the stories of those who came before us continue to inspire future generations. I commend their dedication and encourage others to support their work as well. I'd like to thank the dedicated volunteers, some of whom I know personally and count as friends. Thank you, Honourable Speaker.
Madam Clerk.
Oral questions by members.
Leader of the Official Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, Diane Chandler was a 60-year-old mother, a Canucks fan, and someone who had spent years trying to find safety while living with addiction and mental health illness. In 2023, she moved into the Foxglove Supportive Housing Facility in Surrey, a site this Premier once celebrated as a model for complex care. But last April, she died of an overdose alone in her room, and it took 11 days before anybody noticed she was missing. Staff had mistakenly assigned another residence and falsely signed off on a wellness check that never happened. How did this government allow this to happen?
Minister of Housing.
Thank you so much, Honourable Speaker, and my heart goes out to this family. It's unacceptable for someone to pass away and the family not to be notified in that extended time frame. I appreciate that the people that work in supportive housing work in very complex environments, and it comes with great challenges. But it's vitally important that when this type of incident happens, that families are notified and BC Housing is notified. I appreciate the question from the member. I can share with the member that when this came forward, we issued a notice to the not-for-profit provider that they are now required to notify us within 24 hours if someone does pass away. I can share with the member that we also changed the RTB rules to allow supportive housing sites to do wellness checks. We issued guidelines to all of the not-for-profit providers that they're now required to do wellness checks every 48 hours. And required every day to do a verbal assessment and a checklist to see who is coming in and who is coming out. All those changes were made in response to this specific issue and concerns that we heard from our not-for-profit providers last year, Honourable Speaker. Again, my heart goes out to this family. The goal of supportive housing is to support people with mental health and addictions, and we're going to continue to try to do our best in all of our communities to save lives, Honourable Speaker.
Member supplemental.
Mr. Speaker, once again, staff had mistaken another residence and falsely signed off on the wellness checks. But Mr. Speaker, this story gets worse. Diane's children were devastated to learn the truth only after she was cremated. And as the minister has said, BC Housing never contacted the family and reached out to them, I should say. This was not just a tragic oversight, it was a complete failure of care, the failure of oversight, and a failure of basic human dignity. Mr. Speaker, although this is an issue, obviously, on the housing, this is a failure of our health system. The official opposition has been asking and calling out the Minister of Health on many, many issues. And I'm wondering today, Mr. Speaker, if the Minister of Health will stand up today, accept responsibility for this, and resign for the dismal state of healthcare in British Columbia.
Minister of Housing.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Again, I shared with the member our concern about what happened in this individual case. I've shared with the member the actions that we've taken place to ensure that all supportive housing sites have practices put in place that ensure that the residents are safe and taken care of. Honourable Speaker, I can share with the member that we've had debates in this building around having safe spaces in buildings where people can use and have healthcare professionals near them. I know it's been heated debates, but the reason why these spaces are created is so that people don't die alone, Honourable Speaker. And we know from the data that overwhelmingly people are dying alone. Even in this space, there was space dedicated to this, but because of stigma associated with drug use, this individual was alone. That, again, being said, we have seen some positive results of supportive housing in our communities, Honourable Speaker, but I know that it's not something that's cold comfort for this particular family. Again, my heart goes out for them. I understand they're frustrated, and I would be as well if I lost a loved one in this situation. We have changed practices across the province because of this incident. It all started last year, and we're going to continue to do what we can to support every single individual that finds themselves in either supportive housing or complex care.
Member for Skeena.
The story of Diane Chandler that the Leader of the Opposition just spoke about is not new to the opposition or this government. We've been bringing these issues to this chamber for weeks, and all we've heard are platitudes and excuses from the other side. I don't doubt their sincerity, but the fact is that they aren't getting the job done. So if the Health Minister and the Housing Minister are not willing to take responsibility for this failure, then I would ask, is the Parliamentary Secretary for Mental Health and Addictions willing to take responsibility for this problem?
Minister.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Again, I have laid out the immediate steps that were taken to address this situation to the member. The member and I canvassed this at great lengths in estimates as well. It's vitally important that we continue to have opportunities for people to get into housing, to get the supports they need, but we also have to work together to lower the stigma associated with using drugs, Honourable Speaker, because even in this situation where there was the space available for someone to use in a safe space with staff, it wasn't taken up. We have a lot of work to do, Honourable Speaker, but we are doing that. We're expanding opportunities in our communities for more people to come off. Surely the member would agree with me that if we want to save lives, the best way we can do that is to get people indoors, get them with supports that they desperately need in our communities. We're seeing results because we are seeing people having less interaction with the healthcare system, less interaction with the corrections and police system by having them in supportive housing. Again, it doesn't help this family. I appreciate that. I share in their sadness, but I can never imagine the pain that they feel. But that being said, we want to make sure we continue to expand this type of supports in all of our communities so we can help every single individual.
Member for Skeena, supplemental.
This isn't an issue of stigma, this is an issue of incompetence. And the Minister is correct. We did canvass this in estimates already, and I can't help but notice that this specific facility, the Foxglove facility, wasn't mentioned, probably because this government knew about this and was trying to keep it quiet for over a year. It took 11 days to find this woman's body. 10 days later, another person overdosed there. Her daughter said that when she went to visit her there, she saw open signs of drug use everywhere. Mental health and addictions care is in chaos, and the blame rests at the feet of this Premier. The late Premier John Horgan did the right thing. He created a standalone Ministry of Mental Health and Addictions. He clearly saw the urgency in this crisis. This Premier axed this ministry and demoted its relevance to a parliamentary secretary who is utterly failing. Will the Premier swallow his pride and recreate a Ministry of Mental Health and Addictions and an actual mandate with measurable outcomes to finally solve the crisis that BC is facing?
Minister.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Every question that the member asked in estimates, I answered. And so to suggest that we were hiding something is utterly false. In this situation, I've laid out pretty clearly that the staff that were working there believed they saw the individual and put a check mark beside their name when in fact it was someone else. It was a mistake made by staff. unacceptable mistake, in my opinion. That being said, we've taken considerable steps to address that. I laid those things out in detail. We heard from supportive housing providers that they weren't able to do wellness checks because they were limited by the rental tenancy branch. We changed that to allow them to do wellness checks when they felt it was appropriate, and also put in policies to be able to monitor who goes in and out of these facilities, not only for the safety of the people that work there, but for the safety of the residents that live there. I shared with the member that we issued a guidance to all supportive housing after the situation to say that they are required to do a wellness check on every individual every 48 hours and daily keep a log of who they see come in and who they go out, Honourable Speaker. I fully appreciate that this is not cold comfort for this family. I understand that. But what we're trying to do here is to ensure that we lower the stigma around mental health and addiction and create opportunities for people to get into safe housing and to get the supports they need. It's been successful for many, and I do acknowledge that for some it's just not enough, but we're continuing to do what we can to support everyone.
Leader of the third party.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. As we've noted already, stigma around mental health support is a growing concern in our province. People experiencing mental health challenges are not receiving the support they need and are discouraged from seeking help out of fear of repercussion and judgment. There has been an undermining of trust in mental health support which deters people from asking for the help they need. It's the role of our government to create conditions in society where people feel able and willing to seek help without fear of stigmatization and further barriers. My question is for the Minister of Health. What steps is the ministry taking to combat growing stigma to mental health support and increase public awareness of services so that those suffering don't feel helpless and alone?
Minister of Health.
Thank you so much, Honourable Speaker, and thank you to the member for the question, and again raising the incredibly important topic of mental health and mental health supports during this week, Mental Health Week, May 5th to 11th. Mr. Speaker, this government remains committed to building out a continuum of care that fully integrates and acknowledges that mental health is part of everybody's health, physical, spiritual, cultural, mental. Mr. Speaker, that includes working in schools and working through public education campaigns to help reduce stigma. Increasing access for youth, Mr. Speaker, through programs like the Foundry and integrating child and youth care teams right into schools, increasing access to counselors for just the average person living in British Columbia. Mr. Speaker, over the last year, over 29,000 people have accessed free or low-cost counseling, over half of them for the first time ever. It is so important that we have this conversation about ending the stigma around being your true self, about talking about the challenges that people face, about preventing small problems from snowballing into larger problems. Mr. Speaker, I am wholly dedicated to this work. I appreciate the member's question. Thank you.
Leader of the third party supplemental.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thanks to the Minister for that response. Addressing stigma is only useful if the continuum of care being provided is effective, evidence-based, and person-centered. Appreciate the mention of youth and Foundry. As we know, implementing an early intervention system of care for those experiencing mental health challenges is a critical step that our healthcare system has historically neglected. Reactive spending on more policing and a reliance on crisis-level response has taken attention away from addressing the root causes of mental health challenges. Intervention should be in place at multiple levels of an individual's mental health journey before they reach crisis. For the Minister of Health, again, how is this government investing in preventative and proactive mental health care to provide British Columbians with the wraparound support they deserve?
Minister.
Thank you again, Honourable Speaker, and thank you to the member for the question. This year's budget includes $500 million of new funding to support mental health and substance use issues. Mr. Speaker, I've already spoken about some of the programs that this government has undertaken, and we're going to continue to do this. Mr. Speaker, we're going to continue to build out the continuum of care, to work with children and youth all the way through adulthood, doing everything that we can to normalize the conversations that we need to have, to support children and youth, to support adults, to help prevent small problems from becoming big problems, Mr. Speaker, because we see all too often, as we've canvassed in this House, these problems are serious and have absolutely devastating results for people and for their families. Mr. Speaker, this government remains committed to this work. We're going to continue to do that by integrating the Mental Health and Addictions Ministry back into health. We acknowledge that this is about holistic approaches to healthcare, Mr. Speaker, and we're going to continue to do that work.
Member for Abbotsford West.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Safety of seniors is a real concern. Seniors also deserve to walk safely down their own neighborhood streets. However, under this government, all crimes reported to police against seniors, 2/3 were physical assaults. So, Mr. Speaker, why has this soft-on-crime premier left seniors to fend for themselves on the dangerous streets of British Columbia?
Minister of Public Safety and Solicitor General.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To the member opposite, it's important that we believe that all citizens in British Columbia should feel safe. As a matter of fact, the incidence of crimes against senior citizens are no greater than against other people. Our repeat violent offender program is a good example of an intervention program that we have to make a difference and to help people to break the cycle of offending. This crime that you talk about is largely perpetrated by people who are part of a system. And if we involve them, in this case, the Revoy hub, then we get to monitor them and we get to curb their behavior. That's a program that works, that's a program that speaks well of the system, and we will continue that program.
Member for Maple Ridge East.
Mr. Speaker, I have seen seniors being abused. I witnessed firsthand a man verbally abused his own mother, and according to the seniors advocate, reports of abuse and neglect of seniors rose 21% between 2019 and 2023. Can the minister provide updated figures today so we can understand the full scale and scope of senior abuse in BC?
Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To the member opposite, again, I say that British Columbians deserve to feel safe all across the province. There is no greater an incidence of crimes against seniors than there is against any other group. We're strengthening policing in this province, also rebuilding the critical services that make people feel safe. The old government, the opposition leader's old government, cut funding for programs like this, for crime prevention and victim services. They ended the prolific offender management program that reduced offending by 40% overall. They cut $360 million from healthcare. Mental health and addiction services were lost or seriously reduced. What we have to do is deal with the problem, and we're doing it.
Member for Delta South.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, just yesterday, a 73-year-old constituent came into my Ladner office in tears. Her pension is $1,800 a month, her rent is $1,800 a month, and now she's broke and facing eviction in 9 days from now. Her belongings are about to be auctioned off because she can't afford the $1,200 storage bill, and the Ministry of Poverty Reduction denied her crisis help because she's not already a client. Is this what we've come to in British Columbia, Mr. Speaker? Seniors left homeless and humiliated.
Minister of Social Development.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. That sounds like a very hard story, and I would appreciate working with the member so that we can find out what happened. And that we can get seniors the support that they need and deserve. Seniors' income support is delivered by the federal government once somebody turns 65, but that has not stopped our government from investing in seniors, expanding the SAFER grant to help them with rent, building affordable housing targeted especially at seniors. We've doubled the senior supplement that goes on top of federal income supports. And of course, building out more affordable long-term care and other supports. But I look forward to working with the member to navigate the system and get this individual the support that they need. Thank you.
Member for Langley Willowbrook.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Before the election, the Premier promised 4,000 new long-term care beds, yet months later, not a single shovel is in the ground. Meanwhile, seniors are stuck in 60-year-old buildings, hospitals are jammed, and this government quietly killed the Equip Care, a low-cost program that actually helps seniors. No beds, no equipment, no urgency. If seniors' care is a real priority, why does this government keep treating it like an afterthought?
Minister of Health.
Thank you so much, Honourable Speaker. It is so important to make sure that seniors have all the care that they deserve. They have helped build this province, and it's incumbent on all of us to do everything that we can to support people in this stage of their life. Mr. Speaker, that's why we are taking action across government, across many ministries to support seniors, and that includes adding more than 5,400 new and replacement beds at 33 different long-term care facilities. Mr. Speaker, it includes hiring more home care workers and expanding programs that help seniors stay in their own homes, because we know that when a senior is able to stay at home, they can live a healthier life at home, surrounded by their family and in the contact with their community, getting the supports that they need. Mr. Speaker, we've piloted a long-term care at home program for seniors, Mr. Speaker, a program that is having real results. We are not going to back down from the support that we know seniors deserve. We're going to keep doing this work.
Member for Richmond Bridgeport.
This government fast-track, low barrier, unsupervised supportive housing in Richmond without consulting the community. Meanwhile, Richmond's elders are stuck on wait lists for years without affordable, safe option. Why does the Minister of Emergency Management and Climate Readiness allow vulnerable seniors in Richmond always to come second under this NDP government?
Minister of Housing.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. You've heard clearly from this side of the House that we realize the importance of supporting seniors. The member talks about fast-tracking projects in her community, supportive housing projects. Surely the member knows that the fastest demographic of people who find themselves homeless are seniors. The contradiction of all the questions talking about how do we support seniors, and the member stands up criticizing the program that we're putting out to support the seniors that live in that community, Honourable Speaker. Shameful. Absolutely shameful, Honourable Speaker. The member will also know, if the Leader of the Opposition has additional questions, I'm happy to answer them, Honourable Speaker. But
Minister, continue.
The member's asking about housing for seniors and supporting seniors. Surely the member knows that the largest investment in affordable housing for seniors in her community has come under our government, Honourable Speaker. We've invested in more affordable housing for seniors in Richmond that they've seen in the previous 30 years, Honourable Speaker. 30 years. I appreciate the member is sensitive because she was the minister in the BC Liberal government and didn't take action to support those seniors with affordable housing in our own community. Honourable Speaker, we believe that supporting seniors during challenging times is vitally important.
Minister.
It's not about the press releases. It's about seeing the units opening up and seeing people moving in and realizing how big of an impact that makes in their lives, Honourable Speaker. We're going to continue to do that work across every single community in British Columbia.
Member for Salmon Arms, Shuswap.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I hope those announcements actually turn into completed projects. In Salmon Arm and across the Shuswap, seniors are facing an impossible choice: staying in aging homes they can no longer manage, or leave the region entirely because there are no affordable assisted living spaces available. Mr. Speaker, what is this government going to do to ensure seniors in Salmon Arm can access safe, affordable housing with appropriate levels of care before it's too late?
Minister of Housing.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Again, we value the importance of supporting seniors. The member opened his question saying that he hoped to see some of those units open. Perhaps I can share with the member Birch Place, 340 3rd Street in his community, 35 units open. Perhaps he can go and visit them. Honourable Speaker. Another 32 homes have opened up in his community, Large Place, Honourable Speaker. There's another 64 affordable rentals that are Andover Terrace, 2110 Lakeshore Road, Honourable Speaker. And there's a project right now under construction with Habitat for Humanity. Honourable Speaker, the member, I can assure the member that he's not seen this type of investment in his community before. If he believes there's more, I welcome that. I welcome him to raise that, Honourable Speaker. We believe in supporting seniors. We believe in supporting people in our communities. That's why we're making the largest investment in the history of our province, Honourable Speaker, in affordable housing, because for 2 decades, governments decided that it wasn't a priority.
Member for Prince George Valemount.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Affordable housing is not assisted living. Aspen Seniors Housing in Prince George should be providing low-income housing for those in need. However, the Northern Health CEO has confirmed that units have been available for more than 6 months. Why, during a housing crisis, when there is no availability of affordable senior housing and the UHNBC remains overcrowded, is this government letting these housing units sit empty?
Minister.
Thank you again, Honourable Speaker. I appreciate the member is asking a question, and I think the member knows what the answer is going to be. Also, the largest investment in the history of Prince George has come under our government investing in affordable housing, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, Quebec Street House, 36 homes open. Honourable Speaker, on 1919 17th Avenue, 57 units of housing open. Honourable Speaker, 679 Dag Road, Honourable Speaker, housing for folks with special needs. Honourable Speaker, we have on 2541 Oak Street, Prince George, another 6 units that have opened. 1975 Bowser Avenue, Phase 1, Honourable Speaker, 50 units open. I've got pages I can read through, Honourable Speaker, but I know we're limited for time. I will continue to say, members, to the questions that are coming today, we value the importance that our seniors have contributed to our province. We believe that seniors who have worked their entire lives deserve to be supported when they need it most, Honourable Speaker. That's why we've expanded SAFER program, so that not only seniors can get more money, but more seniors can qualify. That's why we're investing historic amounts of dollars to get more units open, because we believe every senior deserves to be able to live in the community that they've grown up in.
Member for Kelowna Centre. Member for Kelowna Centre.
It's great that, thank you, Honourable Speaker, that's great that the largest investment in Prince George ever, but doesn't still explain why those units are empty. In Kelowna, a senior was fined $27,000 for trying to move into her own home after renting it out to long-term tenants during the pandemic. This happened while she was undergoing critical liver treatment, and she had to move in with her daughter in Alberta. She wasn't flipping her house. She wasn't speculating. She was trying to recover. Why has this Premier created a system so cold and bureaucratic that even the sick get punished?
Minister.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. It's hard to answer the specific question. Remember, there wasn't enough detail provided. If there are details, the member knows that we are available to help address specific issues. So I'm not sure if it, I'm not sure what the question pertains to. But I would just also say to the member, in the line of housing and affordable housing, that her mayor is here today. And he may even be in the chamber. And I want to thank him for the amazing work he and his councillors have been doing. But Kelowna also has seen the largest investment in affordable housing in the history of this province. And so again, the member has a question, which I just apologize. I don't fully understand the context. But if there's details, I'm happy to get back to the member.
Member for Surrey White Rock.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Earlier in question period, my colleague from Delta South raised a pretty sad and tragic story. And the response from the minister was, bring it to me. We'll work on it. It's been brought to that minister's office, and it's been sitting there, sitting in the minister's office. Time and time again, in this House, we bring questions here to question period, and what we hear is bring it forward and we'll work with you. We've done that. We're bringing these issues forward, and we're getting nothing. So either the ministers are unaware of it, or they're choosing not even to answer. In some cases, we've got the receipts. We've got the receipts. The Premier got up and said he is going to work with every MLA in this House. Every MLA. So what do we get? Every NDP MLA has a title over there and responsibility. There is more political staff in this building than there's ever been before. Some ministers have over 8. And the fact is they can't even reply to an MLA on casework. It is absolutely unacceptable. They can say it's not true. My question is a direct one, and it's to the Premier or to anybody.
Member.
Who am I? I'm the guy that does his job. You must be the other guy.
Members.
Give me a break. The fact of the matter is, my question is to the Premier, and it's a direct one. Does he approve of the fact that MLAs and ministers are unaware of cases that are coming into this office, or is he aware of the fact that they are not even responding?
Minister of Housing.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. And first off, members across this chamber know when they come to ministers with issues, we work with all members to try to solve the issues. You know, and the members complaining about emails, the member surely knows that he was with the BC Liberal government. He was with the BC Liberal government when they didn't reply to emails.
Members. Members, come to order. Mr. Wilson.
They didn't reply to emails, they triple deleted them. They triple deleted the emails. In fact, they had the member from Surrey Cloverdale can't control herself, Honourable Speaker, consistently heckling in this place.
Member for Surrey White Rock. Question has been asked. Let the minister conclude it. We are almost done.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Now, my friend from Delta South asked questions about senior supports, and the member knows we have 300 affordable housing units for seniors opening up. I know he knows because he was there with me when we put shovels in the ground, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, the member from Surrey Cloverdale can't seem to control her temper consistently in this House. I'm happy to answer the question when she can.
Member for Surrey Cloverdale.
I'm glad the children have left, Honourable Speaker, because that is a poor example of how to act in this place. For a hopeful future leader of the Conservative Party, surely that's not how you want to act in this place, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, we continue to make investments, Honourable Speaker, historic investments to support seniors. I appreciate the member's concern about his email. We'll make sure we try to respond to all of our emails in a timely manner.
Bell ends question period. Member, please. Member for Surrey City Centre.
Honourable Speaker, the Select Standing Committee on Private Bills and Private Member Bills reports Bill number M202 entitled Eligibility to Hold Public Office Act complete without amendment.
Thank you, members. Bill M202, Eligibility to Hold Public Office Act, will proceed to report stage during the next private member's time. Anybody else? Varna Lambi.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. I rise to raise a point of order regarding member from Surrey White Rock for saying twice accusing me, utterly falsely accusing me for not doing my job, which I am proud to be, and I can tell how I've done my job and how people recognized it again. I'm proud to represent the people of Vernon Lumbee by working 7 days a week. And I want him to withdraw his remarks.
Thank you, member. Thank you. Member Surrey White Rock, if you have any reply. Member, I caution all members, when we are exchanging questions and answers sometime in a heated discussion, we go overboard. So please do not make any personal comments. When there is a question for the Executive Council members, they should be answering that, and that's their prerogative, who stands up and who doesn't. Thank you so much. Bell ends the question period. Next is Madam Clerk.
Orders of the day.
Government House Leader.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Before I get to the main business, I've just been chatting with the Opposition House Leader, and I've also talked with the Leader of the Green Party, or the Green Party House Leader. But I want to move that pursuant to Standing Order 16.4, any division called in Section B upon orders of the day on Wednesday, May 7th, be deferred until 8:30 p.m. And I want to add a caveat to that. I'm going to discuss with the member, the Opposition House Leader, on that time may change, but it will be by agreement between the two of us, because we both have the same issue we are trying to resolve. Okay.
Okay. Members, you heard the question. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Government House Leader.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. In this chamber, I called continued second reading debate on Bill 11, Employment Standards Act. In Section A, the Douglas Fir Room, I call continued estimates debate for the Ministry of Transportation and Transit.